I just don't have time to move. How much movement and what type of movement is essential for a healthy body and spine? Keep watching to find hacks to move more. A 2019 study found that people who did no activity and sat for more than 8 hours a day had more than twice the risk of dying from cardiovascular disease. This was compared to people who did at least 1 hour physical activity and sat less than 4 hours a day, the optimal group. Now stay with me because I'll share a couple of easy hacks to move more in case that strenuous gardening and housework is not your thing. Recommendations from the Australian Department of Health require 2.5 to 5 hours of moderate intensive physical activity, such as brisk walk, golf, mowing the lawn or swimming, and 1.25 to 2.5 hours of vigorous intensive physical activity, such as jogging, aerobics, fast cycling, soccer, or netball. Now, doing any physical activity is better than doing none. If you do no physical activity right now, this might sound too intense, so start with what you can and then slowly build up to the recommended amount. Here are 4 easy hacks that will help you get that much needed movement. 1. Get your steps up. Track your steps and movement to reach your 10,000 steps. It is very easy to do with smartphones and smartwatches. For example, I love my Apple Watch as I love to close all my rings. And if I don't get the 10,000 steps every day, I tend to go for a nice evening stroll. And you can also add your family or friends in and make it a nice friendly challenge or a support group where you're all working towards the same goal. 2. Find simple exercises to do. For example, an exercise to include muscle strengthening activities as part of your daily physical activity, at least 2 days a week. And this can be something like push-ups. We all know how to do those, right? A pull-up, they're a little bit harder. Squats, lunges, maybe even lifting some weights, and if you don't have those, just grab a couple of cans. Even household tasks that involve lifting, carrying, or digging. Also, if you're not sure when to do it, here are some tips. Avoid doing exercises before going to sleep. The rest of the day is fine, but there are other things that you can do. So for example, when you have some dead time, that's a really important time to use. So with everything being so fast, there are less and less times to do your exercises. But for example, when waiting for your kettle to boil, kind of standing there, or do some postural exercises, maybe even some squats. Or maybe while you're standing at the printer and you're watching that paper come through, do some exercise. And this is what will help you create that habit. Then there's incidental exercise. Think fast walking or cycling, maybe to work, to the shops, going up that extra flight of stairs instead of taking the elevator. These are really easy ways to include more movement in your day. Now here's another thing that I'm asked all the time. Does a standing desk help? Well, yes and no. Standing desks are beneficial because it changes the pressure and the load through a spine, but doesn't necessarily increase your exercise, and it does not replace movement. However, if you see that even after all these things you are still in pain and cannot move, then it's really important to see a health professional to help you get moving, because at the end of the day, moving better matters.